To Mrs. Peach, Thrifty Living, I'm so happy you're here today. Today is another episode in the story of Dad's family, 18 children. My dad is one of 18 children. He was number 4, and I've been going through this series of each page that I have is a story of one of, in the birth order of each child that was born. Today is number 7. I want to thank my cousin Lori Marie that put this together. She did an awesome job. We had gotten together something on each of the siblings, and either somebody in the family wrote it, or if they were still living, they may have told her themselves. The number 7 child was another boy. His name was Robert Benson. We always called him Benson. So here I go. He was born October 1916, and if I recall right, him and his brother, the one just prior in our last story, was one day apart. Their birthdays were one day apart. That's amazing. He was born at home, just like most all of the other children were, and he married Lily Mae in 1938, and they had 4 children. Yeah. Benson remembers his grandfather as being tall with whiskers and a mustache, and also being a real nervous man. Now that's the first time I heard that one. When grandfather was younger, Benson remembers him sitting on the porch when a lot of blackbirds came flying in. Grandfather told one of the children, "Go in and get out the shotgun." After the gun was brought out to him, he was able to shoot 23 blackbirds in one shot. Now, I don't know, you guys. We'll see. Somebody told that story. Also remembers Aline. It's one of the girls that was born a little later. Aline is having white hair, and she was a very likable child. He also remembers his first sister, Madge, as being a person who told you to do something and that you'd better do it. She was the oldest girl. I think she was number 9, so stay tuned for that story. He used to pick cotton after all the crops were in to earn money. He liked math in school, and his favorite teacher was Mr. Ryder, who taught the 7th grade. Seems to me like a lot of the uncles that I've read about so far liked math pretty well. His dating was horseback riding and walking the girl from church. He met Lily in school and remembers the first pie she baked for him. They were to have a pie supper where they auctioned off the pies. I think I mentioned that in one of my other stories. Lily made this nice apricot pie that Benson wanted. He managed to bid the highest for this pie. Before he could enjoy it, one of Lily's sisters came and told him, "You better watch out and be careful. She forgot to put any sugar in the pie." Despite the sour pie, Benson got married by the Justice of the Peace with Uncle George as their witness. Now, if I recall right, Aunt Lily was very famous for her pies. She must have really gotten them really under control and made some wonderful, delicious pies, because some of the grandchildren are still making her pies today. Uncle Wiley, his name was Wiley Samuel, and he was number 8. Wiley Samuel was born January of 1918, and he married Ruby in 1939, and they had 4 children. Wiley was born at home, and he was named after Uncle George Wiley. The house that he was born in was set on the Cherokee County line and the Sequoia County line, right in the middle. Oh my goodness. The bedroom was in Sequoia, and the living room was in Cherokee County. His uncle Luther was at the house when he was born. Luther was from his mother's side of the family, and he was a stocky built man with dark hair. Somebody described him that way. Wally remembers receiving more whippings from his mom than his dad. Now that's kind of surprising, which was fine with Uncle Wally because his dad would lay his hand on hard. Grandpa Mac is remembered to be a very special person and that he was always jolly. He had an Irish accent and he was supposedly full-blooded Irish. Some of the chores that Wally did was to carry water and milk the cows. He had 4 cows that he had to milk every morning and every night. Sometimes, if the other kids were gone, he would have to go ahead and milk their cows also. And sometimes all the kids were gone, and he would end up having to milk all of the cows. Now, I didn't say how many. Lester, that's my daddy, would be the one to feed the horses and the mule. At Christmas, they would have a special meal, and on Thanksgiving, they would have a turkey, but usually chicken. When Wally received his first .22 gun, Austin took the gun and traded it for a horse. Now, if you remember my last story about Austin, you can go back and watch all of these if you like. Wally didn't find out about this for quite some time, yet Austin was liked by everyone. Wally didn't care much for school. His favorite subject was to play baseball. He went on to the 11th grade in school. The teacher he respected the most was his 4th grade teacher. His parents were the biggest influence of his life. School was a 2-room schoolhouse, 1 upstairs and 1 downstairs. Math was his favorite subject. Again, another math lover. Wally did his share of playing tricks on people. He and Bob Wright one time took a skunk and put it in the teacher's mailbox. Oh boy. Wally remembers one time after church when Benson and Floyd, that's a friend, or I think it was a cousin, in the Model A car that they had. This car had a rumble seat in it, so Wally, wanting to find out what was going to go on, hid in the rumble seat. After they got to Goldie's house and she got out of the car, out popped Wally from the rumble seat. They asked him, "What are you doing back there?" Didn't say anything past that. Wally became a Christian in 1948 at a revival. He was baptized at the Box Creek by Brother Griffin, and he received the Holy Ghost in 1949. Wally's favorite food was blackberry pie or cobbler. He remembers one time his mother being out picking berries and getting into some kind of poison which caused her legs to swell up really bad, okay? He remembers his mother as being a heavy person, but with a very sweet and loving personality. His dad was tall and a nice-looking man. Aline is remembered as being a slender, small, light-headed girl. Now, Aline is the one I got my name after. Wally remembers Arthur as a nice person who was dark-headed. Remember, he was one of the older brothers. Arthur became a Christian when he was real young and got married when he was 17 or 18 years old. Yes, they all loved their sister, but feels that Madge didn't get to go places with the boys because she had to stay home and help their mother. He remembers Aunt Josie and seeing her run off and get married. Ruby's father was a bootlegger. When she was younger, she didn't go to church. She started going when she was older. She didn't like Wally at first. Joel and Lyle took Wally and Ruby to the Justice of the Peace to get married. The Justice of the Peace forgot to sign the marriage license, and when they went to get it recorded, they were told to take it back and get it signed. When they got back to the Justice of the Peace that had married them, they found out he had died. Wally's first paying job was picking cotton. He received 60 cents for 100 pounds. He used to help make brooms in his father's general store. and would sometimes help in the store with Mr. Wright. Lowell was the ramrod of the family and the extension of father. Remember, Lowell was the oldest. Sometimes when the boys were supposed to be in the field working, they would sneak off and go swimming. Thank you for watching today. I hope you'll come back. I'll have more of those episodes. In the meantime, come back and check everything, and God bless you special.